And I guess its impact on the province.
Well, it's very serious, and this is an example of why this hyper-partisanship is insane. The Premier of New Brunswick, the Premier of PEI, the Premier of Nova Scotia should be working together with one voice. The fact that they're blue, red, and orange shouldn't matter here, but it does. They can't speak as a strong common voice for our region, and on this one, they absolutely have to because of the damage it's going to do, as well as on some other issues like the loss of train transportation in the region. But the hyper-partisanship is getting in the way because they're different colors. They're not speaking on behalf of the common good of the region, and that is why people are so disgusted with the political process these days.
Do you think there's anything that can be done at this point?
Well, sure, it's not too late. They could put their partisan differences aside and say what's most important is the future of our region, not whether you're red, blue, or orange, and decide that they're going to speak with one voice and up the pressure on the federal government and the Prime Minister to abandon or modify these changes. And they could offer some solutions. I mean, we're dealing with Social Program 1.0 here, and we need Social Program 2.0 now, so that the provinces have some responsibilities in this area, to bring in things like a living wage, to talk to the federal government about a guaranteed annual income, because clearly the mishmash of social programs we've had for decades and decades, generations really, no longer is working effectively. We need to replace them with something new. This is just a symptom of that. But in the short term, they should be speaking with one voice and insisting that this bill be changed.
But Mr. Coon, partisanship has always been considered to be set aside among the athletic premiers. Every time they meet, they say that they have a common voice, they come with common positions, and they have a common position on EI, and this doesn't seem to be the problem. The problem seems that Ottawa doesn't listen.
I disagree. I think that is just rhetoric. I think that if they were truly working together and speaking with one voice forcefully, that it would make a difference. And that's not been happening. Otherwise, we wouldn't be losing trains. Otherwise, we wouldn't have even seen this bill show up in the form it's been presented. So they're not doing it. Clearly, the proof is in the pudding. And until they do that, our region will continue to lose and be ignored by the rest of this country.
You see, have did you newspaper there take a picture of the suggestion from the Economist?
Well, it lines up exactly with what we said in our press release 3 weeks ago in the commentary that Lucky Novell and the Telegraph Journal carried that I'd written on this, that I can't believe it. We're heading for financial catastrophe on the fiscal side in this province because of these reckless tax cuts that were undertaken in 2009. And we've been borrowing ever since. The economists are saying that if they continue for one more year without any changes, we're going to have lost $1 billion. $1 billion. Nous perdrons $1 milliard à cause de la réduction de les impôts de 2009. It's incredible, incredible. $1 billion that we've had to go borrow to pay for these tax cuts that benefited the well-heeled and transferred burdens on to the middle class and those of low income. Incredible. And this is my example of why people are going to start voting for other parties like the Greens, because this incredibly important issue, this incredibly important piece by economists from every university in this province was ignored by both sides of the House because the Liberals brought these tax cuts in and the Conservatives liked them. And no one is speaking to the fact that it's crippling our province, because somehow the notion of cutting taxes is a good, and of raising taxes or restoring taxes to previous levels is a sin. It's almost like a matter of religious faith on the part of these two parties, and it's getting in the way of serving the common good in this province. And we're going to pay forever for this. It's incredible. Thank you.